Chappell Roan, who I'm a big fan of. She won Best New Artist.
Pony Club.
It's a fucking jam, dude. It's such a jam.
I switched it to Big Booty Club. I think now.
That's your thing now?
Mhm.
Are you into big butts? Can you lie?
I cannot lie. I do.
You
I
cannot
am.
lie. You
I
really-
like big butts.
Let's get dumb and have some fun. Let's get dumb and have some fun. Let's get dumb and have some fun. Get dumb and have some fun.
Welcome to Let's Get Dumb, the podcast where I, comedian Joe Kilgallen and comedian Jonah Jurkens, like to ask dumb questions, tell dumb stories, make dumb lists, and just have a dumb old time with you. Jonah, how are you, my man?
Great.
Yeah, dude. You should be feeling great, man.
Yeah.
Jonah had an awesome weekend. We're going to kind of have a mess around podcast with you listeners, talk about a little current events. Jonah and producer Austin are fresh off their trip to Indianapolis, Indiana.
The greatest city on earth.
Yeah, where they got
Sure.
to partake in the Royal Rumble festivities.
Yeah. Got to go to the Royal Rumble.
Big guest of the WWE.
Yeah.
So we'll mess around with that. I want all the stories from both of you. So Austin, have your microphone on full blast. I want to be able to hear you.
Joe, we had two people. We found two people in the audience with signs with our podcast on it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible. What does
Yeah.
signs say?
It didn't say anything. I'm lying to you.
You son of a
I
I
know.
actually did think about
you
bringing
son
a
of
sign.
bitch.
I did think about bringing a
I
sign
thought
too.
it just hit at Let's Get Dumb
So
podcast.
that would have been great. You were sitting where exactly? Tell the listeners.
I was front row, seat 1 and 2.
Did you go to one of those chairs?
I did. They're gonna send it to me in a week. I think I should get it.
Nice, man.
Yeah, pretty
That's
excited.
really dope.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, when you go to a WWE pay-per-view, if you're sitting like the front 8 rows along the
Yeah,
ring,
a little longer
they
now.
let you, maybe a little longer, they let you keep the chairs.
Yeah,
is
which
really great.
this is my third Royal Rumble. I have denied it every time. I don't know why. And
Sell those in the parking lot.
I know. Well, I told you that story that one time about the kid that tried to steal it. Remember?
You did.
And I could have like a little poker table with 6 stupid ass Royal Rumble seats around it.
I had the Money in the Bank chair.
You did?
Yeah.
Do you still have it? You do have it. It was in your,
No,
isn't it?
I
Oh.
was. I had it for a long time, but then when I moved to LA, I gave it to my cousin to give to his uncle, who's a huge wrestling fan.
Okay.
So I did like a good deed with it.
Yeah, that's good.
But I could have sold it in the parking lot that night.
Like
I remember
$100.
walking through the parking lot back, and some guy was like, "Give you $100 for it." I'm like, "Nah, I want to keep it."
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
But yeah, man, Royal Rumble is always one of those pay-per-views where I'm like, that'd be really fun because, you got the countdown.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who's going to come running out. So is there any big surprises? Because every year there's like, oh, there might be a surprise. Like some old school guy comes back.
Yeah, who was the big surprise, Austin?
Mine was I like audibly because I'm a passive watcher, so I like to just like sit and be like, very good. Like I'm very Japanese in my way of watching. So when Joe Hendry came out at number 15, he's the current TNA world champion. So it's the first time a world champion from a different company has ever been
Oh my God, Joe.
in the Rumble. I jumped into the sky. It
Wow,
was
that's pretty crazy.
yeah, it was awesome. And then everybody in the place erupted. Like,
Yeah.
people knew him. They were singing a song, clapping.
Yeah.
It was a very good moment.
Okay. So we're gonna have to. I don't have my phone's charged right now. But we have to queue it up. But like, Joe, there was a internet superstar that came out on it. Called what was his name?
I Show Speed.
I Show Speed. Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay. He took a spear, right, from Ron Breaker, correct?
Yes.
Ron Breaker, and it was one of the hardest fucking spears I have ever seen.
Oh God.
Awesome. Can you look it up on your phone, and then we're gonna show Joe, and like we should do a reaction video of you watching this.
Like, he digs his shoulder in his face and plows him to the ground.
Is it like the total botch job or what?
I
Or was he just like, I'll take it?
I think it looked like he didn't twist all the way to take it right. But he still was fine afterwards. But it was the hardest thing. Like I got a chance to go to the press conference afterwards, and Hunter S. Helmsley, Triple H, the guy that runs it now, he was like, yeah, man, like we have all these, like we used to have to like reach out for celebrities to be part of it, and now they want to be part of us. And he goes, well, I don't think they're going to want to take that spear anymore.
Oh, damn.
I mean, the discussion backstage in my mind was like, hey, are you okay with like taking a spear? And the guy's like, yeah. And they're like, okay, so this is how. He's like, no, just give it to me.
Yeah.
Like there was, because he just stood there. Like there was no
so he's
prepared.
an internet personality, but he's got to have some kind of athletic background, right?
He has a whole backflip
backflip.
right before he
He's
gets.
like the biggest
Oh, okay.
streamer in the world. Like, yeah. But here's I got the video right here. I'm coming.
Yeah, I want to
over
see
to-
this. And while you're walking over, I'm going to tell listeners, because we might have some listeners who aren't wrestling friends, Royal Rumbles, when they're all in the ring and you get eliminated by getting knocked over the top
Right.
rope. And
Every
every
90
like few minutes,
90
and
seconds, whatever.
90 seconds, a new person enters the ring. And by the end, there could be like 15 people all wrestling at once. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see.
Are you
this.
doing the above shot?
I'm just doing WWE's post.
Ooh. Damn. He looks like he handled it all right, though. The sound's fucking insane, though.
Yeah.
Oh, slow motion even better. Yeah, when you land on one shoulder, because you obviously want to land where you get all on your back, but this guy gets fucking... I wonder if he separated his shoulder. We have to find out if there's a real injury to that. That's a fucking shot.
It was a shot, right? Could you
Got a
imagine?
shot.
Could you imagine knowing that you're gonna take that, and then you see how fast he was running, and just being like, "All right, here comes."
He didn't look like he was fully ready because he was looking. He just did the
Yeah.
backflip. He's looking at the crowd. And
Yeah.
He starts to turn, and the guy kind of gets him on the side.
Yeah.
Where like I'm thinking of like the classic Goldberg spear, where the
Yeah.
dude is facing, and he gets just fucking
Yeah.
leveled that way.
Yeah, it feels like this streamer was just like a hair too slow, too
Yes.
behind on stuff. And also, so for listeners of the podcast, we know that a friend of ours, Colt Cabana, is also really good friends with Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And he was nice enough to give us tickets to
Guns N' Roses
Guns
at
N'
Wrigley
Roses.
Field.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses, and they fought in the audience. And when they go into, they fight in the audience, and they fight next to like Laura and I, because Laura's there with me. And right when they're fighting there, you can see me in there. I wanted to whisper, be like, "Hey, thanks for the tickets."
That would have been dope.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have been like, "What the fuck?
Yeah, I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Fuck are you saying to me right now?"
I know.
I would have been like, "Thanks for the tickets." Axel sounded like shit, but Slash was really cool.
Thanks for the tickets. Slash was better.
Slash was worth the price of admission, even though there was no price because the tickets were free.
Right.
Yeah, we saw Hit and Run in the alley afterwards. It was fun.
Also, you said the seats were better. They were kind of off to the side, and I really couldn't see everything perfectly. But thank you, though. That's
We're
really
as
nice.
good as these tickets,
Right.
Or these seats right here. Yeah.
Carry on.
Why are we still whispering?
Yeah, why are we still whispering?
At this point, it's a full-on conversation. Yeah, man, I'm glad you guys got to go. Austin, from where were you seated?
I was in
A lot
section.
farther away than me.
Okay. I was in section 105. I had like nice aisle seats too, but it's right. The entrance where they walk out, there's like it's just literally that section behind them. So I'm sure if you really zoomed in, you could see me
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
from certain wide angles. Yeah, because
Definitely
I was
that
right
big moon
there
face.
with a big gold belt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It-
Yeah, so tell me about you guys got to go to this event beforehand, because if you guys follow, we got to post them to the Let's Get Dumb Instagram. We've never done a photo dump on Let's Get Dumb's
No.
Instagram, have we? We could probably do
Oh, yeah,
one.
we should do that. Yeah.
We should probably do one, right? There's some great shots of you guys. You guys, Cody Rhodes, who's a champion.
Yeah.
Is he the champion?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and he was with AEW. He kind of helped launch AEW, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
He
went
made
right
it,
back to WWE.
Yep.
It's crazy with all the going back and forth. If I could go back to the dude from TNA who showed up at the Rumble, WWE must have had to have gotten special permission from TNA.
They
Yeah,
bought
they
or
announced
do they
that-
own TNA?
No,
Don't
they,
they?
announced they had a partnership now with TNA.
a partnership.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
which is like, whoa.
Because
And
they're
then,
feeling
like,
heat from AEW, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, TNA and AEW used to work together. Then
Yeah.
they didn't like each because TNA was getting nothing out of it. So
What's
they
the
went to
ratings war like between WWE and AEW?
Oh, it's nothing. It
It's
used
nothing
to be
now.
something. Now it's nothing. Like AEW gets like 800,000 views a week, like for one show, and WWE gets. I mean, with Netflix now, they get like 3-4 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
And they
now.
just did their biggest gate for Royal Rumble, which I think was a 67,000.
So, yeah, 67,000 for just the
still-
Royal Rumble.
Is it a better product, WWE, or is
100%.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100%. For the people listening, if you're like, ugh, wrestling. No, it's not, it's honestly like, it's athletic. It's presented in a much more professional way. The storylines are great. And it's just, it doesn't dumb you down. It like rewards you for paying attention.
Yeah, it's turned into HBO now.
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
Before when Vince was around, it was kind of like, I don't give a fuck what happened 2 months ago. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this. But now it's like if you watched 4 months ago when they talked about this for 2 minutes, now it got referenced.
Yeah.
Now it's deeper. But you don't need to know that. But like it rewards people for actually watching their weekly show now.
I would argue they're bigger now than like the Attitude.
No, they
Era.
are.
Yeah.
By number wise, they are. But you know, inflation. But
Right.
number wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So yeah, I remember when AEW was starting, though. It seems like a lot of the people I knew who were big wrestling fans were excited about because they thought WWE was getting stale and it needed
Oh yeah,
competition.
they came at the right time.
Because WWE was. I lost interest after the WCW merger. That's how long ago this shit was. That was like fucking 2003 and something like that. And I still followed it for a little while, but from afar. And I thought, I'm like, man, without the threat of another company, it just kind of got
Yeah.
stale.
Yeah.
You know, you need
And
the
I feel like this is
competition.
one of those things too, where AEW I think really forced them to kind of finally hunker
it up.
down.
Yeah, but now AEW's swimming in like not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
But they arguably have better wrestlers, like
Right.
athletes.
Yeah.
But stories,
Well, hopefully they
can't-
figure it out because it's always better when both, like, you ask any wrestling fan, they'll tell you that 96 to 98 run between the Attitude Era and the NWO era was phenomenal.
And we're basically in that again.
That's great.
Right.
Yeah,
Good.
I mean, yeah. And I like AEW. I've been to more AEW shows, mainly because they come to Chicago more and they're a
Right.
little more affordable. But they're great still. But like their weekly product is nothing compared to WWE.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So now that TNA guy who came in, what's his name?
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry. All right. Did he hold his own?
He lasted like a minute and 20 seconds, but he got to have a stare down with Roman Reigns and fight a little. And yes.
All right, good. Because I was thinking to myself, if I'm like in charge at TNA, and I know we're working on a partnership here, I would be like, look, we'll let you throw our guy out there, but you can't make him look like an asshole.
Right.
You know, because that was one of the fun things about being a wrestling fan in grade school, where it'd be like, what if this guy from this promotion
Right.
fought this guy, and how would it go down? You know what I mean? Because you don't really know how elite. I mean, it's all scripted, of course, too, but you'd still like to think that the best guy from one promotion could still be fucking badass in another.
Yeah.
'Cause how embarrassing it would have been if, like, this is the best wrestler in TNA. He's coming to the WWE ring. He's running down and he gets fucking just smashed
Yeah.
instantly. Like, he got speared like that YouTuber, and that'd be embarrassing. Like, if you were a TNA fan, you'd be like, fuck, I'm
Yeah.
not. You know, it's almost like if someone goes from, you know, Bellator to UFC, and
Right.
they get fucking smashed. You're like, all right, well, clearly the guy wasn't ready for it.
Right.
Well, the exciting thing is that, like, yeah, on paper, they're like, this guy's very over online and he's our main guy in TNA. On paper, he should show up to the Rumble and people pop, get excited. We get a bunch of million views because he showed up and he makes an impact where people are going to be like, who was that guy who showed up? Who was he? But then, like, again, us wrestling fans could just be like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know how we're going to wake up. And it's exciting that way, but everybody jumped, and I genuinely jumped in the air of excitement.
You know what we should do? I don't think we've done this. We haven't done top 5 wrestling entrance themes, have we?
No, we talked about doing.
I know it's a little niche, but it's like, man, that's what WWE does best. Is like their entrance songs are just like, even Pat McAfee's is fucking rips.
It's
What?
just an anthem.
It's everyone they do is an anthem, but it was like when he came out, I was just like freaking the fuck out. And he's also cool as shit. But it was amazing being in the
The production value is amazing.
Yeah.
WWE always had that over WCW back in the day. Way cooler production value.
I don't know why the name of the stadium's slipping my mind.
Lucas Oil.
Lucas Oil.
But man, what a beautiful stadium.
Oh, that stadium rocks.
Home
It
of the
was
Huge
Indianapolis
props to
gorgeous.
Lucas Oil. Well, I mean, it's the only thing Indianapolis has, so I hope it would be good. But it is really good, actually.
Yeah.
Remember back when we were doing like top 5 places you're going to see the ugliest people? You brought up pro wrestling events. Now let me ask you both.
I'm gonna double down. It's even worse than what I said.
Well,
before.
that's what I was going to
It's
ask.
gotten worse.
It was insane.
It's gotten worse.
It was absolutely insane. It was crazy. It was the ugliest. I was gonna take a 30-second clip and like so we could put it in this, but I don't want to get shit on again by everybody. But like, I've never seen a group of this is how ugly people are and like how fat they were. Like I go to the bathroom and there's a line for the bathroom and I finally get in and it's not for the urinal, it's for the fucking toilet. Because all those idiots drink Mountain Dew and the worst food ever. And they're like, my stomach hurts. I gotta go. It was disgusting.
My problem is that they're also like know-it-all incels.
Yeah.
My people
Yeah.
behind me the entire fucking show. And I'm proud of my girlfriend for not saying a word about it, honestly, but I wouldn't have been against her if she did. They try to guess every entrant that was next, and they would argue.
Yeah.
No, dude, it can't be that guy
Yeah.
because this guy's coming out. And guess what? They're both fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And guess how many times I was right? Like the 5 times I guessed, I
Yeah.
was right 4 of the 5. I just whispered to her. I'm like, no, it's this. They just suck.
Yeah. It's
And,
crazy.
and guess what? I turned around, ugly as shit.
Ugly shit. It's so bad. Like, and then like they're all there in Indiana, and already Indiana is horrible. So it's like you had to figure out like, is it an Indiana person or is it a wrestling person? Like they're just walking downtown throughout with all their belts. They have all their belts on. Their fucking belts on. And then and my favorite thing, Joe, is I'm like walking by and I see this guy and go, oh, look at that like businessman. He seems kind of like proper, and he's just holding a money in the bank briefcase. But he wasn't like holding it like, yeah, what's up? He's just walking around with it like it was normal, and I was like, what in the world?
So
It's
you brought up the belt thing. I pointed this out to my girlfriend because I made my girlfriend wear a belt, and we actually the entire show wore our belt. around our waist, because it's a belt. If you go to any wrestling event, 95% of the people are not wearing the belts because they don't fit around their waist.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I pointed that out, and my girlfriend was like, "That's a little
on the
mean."
shoulders
But
a
then
lot.
You guys are
as we
making me
walked around,
sad.
it was like they can't wear the fucking belt. Like it.
I mean,
there should be Ozempic ads at these events.
there should be. They
Right?
should. You know what they actually should do is they should just put one of the needles underneath every seat. So when they sit down on it, they all get their first shot. It will be better.
How does Ozempic work? Sorry, I'm changing the subject here a little bit. I know it's to help lose weight. It makes it so that you're just not hungry.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a suppressant like that.
My informant on it, famous Let's Get Dumb guest Chris Bader, says that he doesn't do it, but he's told me it's supposed to make you feel full, so you don't eat anymore. But then his joke, of course, is that I still eat when I'm full, so that's not gonna help me. But yeah, it's supposed to like trick your brain into thinking you're.
Chris isn't
ready.
overweight though.
No,
Like,
Yeah.
a pound or two of that. I don't think.
no,
he has
that's why he
anything to
doesn't
worry
do it. But he's
Oh, okay.
he's just commenting that like it wouldn't work on him. Like that's a silly drug.
I know enough. I think it's something like that. I know very little, but I think I know it's something where it's supposed to make your body feel. And the nice thing from what I've read is that you don't feel starved though.
yeah, yes.
You just feel like, oh, I'm full and I have good energy or whatever it is. But I know there are people from the fitness because there's a whole wellness fitness thing that's really taken off. It's probably like a fucking multi-billion dollar, if not $1 trillion industry at this point, where everyone's trying to sell you shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're against it, of course, because they don't want anything that's a shortcut. But I will tell anyone out there who's listening who wants to lose weight, life is short. You die at the end. If you can find a shortcut, fucking take it.
Yeah.
Absolutely take it. Why wouldn't you? If someone says you could take this shot, several times over the next 8 months, however long it is, or you have to fucking work out 8 hours a day, cut this, cut that, I would take the shortcut.
Yeah.
And who's to blame them? Like, you know what I mean? And I know someone out there is going to try to make you feel bad. Be like, no, do it the natural way. You'll feel better doing it naturally. No, you won't. You'll feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it might be a little bit prouder if you did it naturally, but once you're looking good and you've lost the weight and you're feeling better and you're happier, that's all that fucking matters. So
Yeah.
who gives a shit? Go for it.
You just not doing it the natural way. Everyone at fucking the Royal Rumble. It was just the ugly. Like again, not to go back to it, but it's just like you all. It's like this guy has like an IV of Mountain Dew probably in his arm. The weird thing is, so Austin and I got a chance to go to this event before, and Cody Rhodes was there, and it was at the Speedway, and they did the first hour was like we got a tour of the Speedway, which is cool. We got to go actually on the track, right?
They do the Indianapolis 500.
They do the Indianapolis 500, and
I
there
really
is
wanted to run. I told Jonah, I was like, I really want to start sprinting
yeah,
and just like do the lap.
But there's
they
a brick-
said it was 2.5 miles. I'm like, ooh.
yeah. And I was like, you're not gonna make it. Austin won't make it 40 feet.
Yes, I would.
No,
I just ran 3 miles a day, jerk off.
You didn't run 3 miles
Yes,
today.
I did at Orange Theory.
Okay.
By the way, good use of the word jerk off.
Thank you.
I like
I've been
that.
trying to change up my language.
But
Noted and respected.
This is Austin's idea, but I thought it was very funny. Is that they do there's a brickyard area because it used to be brick until they put the whatever over it, and so like the thing is the winner kisses at the end. And Austin was like, you know what we should do is you should lay on the ground and I'll kiss you like Spider-Man style. And I was like, hell yeah. So we almost took that picture, but we didn't have the balls enough to do it because
They were filming.
because they were also everybody's
Yeah,
filming
yeah,
us.
they were filming.
And that's also how you know that, like, again, I'm not saying like I'm attractive or Austin's attractive. I mean, I wouldn't say that about you, but like it's you're very attractive. And like the people that were like clearly recording for their for the promo stuff were like basically just recording Austin and I the whole time.
I did catch him a couple times.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for the footage to drop. I
Yeah.
keep looking it up.
Didn't you
I'm
say Cody Rhodes, the champion, was kind of talking to you guys because it was like, oh, these dudes are normal. I could.
Yeah,
them a
he's
little.
cool as shit.
I personally got a vibe that he was like, hey, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was something about the way he said, hey,
He's
man,
like, I
and
appreciate
shook
you
our
guys
hand.
being here.
That was like, hey, good to see you. I don't know. It was like, I don't know if he's just really good at acting or if it was, it seemed a little different from when I watched him take pictures of other people. That's all I'm going to say.
It's so interesting, and not to keep talking about WWE, but this is the last thing we can talk about. But like, it's just so interesting that like in sports, sometimes you're famous just because you go to all the games. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a guy there, and Austin's like, "Oh my god, this yellow shirt guy." And I
Green
go,
shirt guy.
Green shirt guy. Excuse me, green shirt guy. I'm like, what? And then he's just like, "The guy's just at every every
front row, like directly
front row in the
of hard
middle
cam. Yeah.
at every one. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he affords it, but it's and like to the point where like he was there and Cody was like, "Yeah, you remember that? What was that?" When they were talking about some old match.
He asked him to answer one of his questions.
Yeah.
Oh, during the Q&A?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Major League Baseball, there's a guy called Marlins fan or Marlins guy because he always has a Marlins hat on, but he's rarely at Marlins games, but he's at every game. They'll
Yeah.
be like Yankees, Red Sox, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. There he is. Cubs, Cardinals. There he is. Like he
Isn't that
just
weird?
travels around. And you know, it was a stupid thing that maybe we could share this for the end. We'll both think of them as we talk about some other stuff. Like what's like another big event you want to go to? Because I know you got to see a UFC fight in Vegas. You got to go to WrestleMania before. You've gone to Royal Rumble several times now.
VMAs.
The VMAs. Yeah.
That's
So
fun.
like, Austin, you think of one too.
Paul Tyson.
Paul Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of an event I've always wanted to go to. An obvious one. Well, I guess we'll talk about it now. We're in it. I was talking about this with some friends like a couple of years ago. I was like, I've always wanted to go to the Super Bowl. And like, how about you, man? You probably always want to go to the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I've never thought about it until just now, actually. And then
Yeah.
I thought about it. I'm like, I mean, I'd go, but it's not on my list because the Super Bowl is one of those days where there's just so many party options.
Yeah.
To be with your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Seems more
I'm not saying
fun.
I would turn down Super Bowl tickets,
Right.
but it's almost more like what we did last year going to that sports book bar. That
Yeah.
was fun.
That's fun.
Or like the year before, someone had a house party. I remember a few years back, a couple comics had a house party and I brought chairs and shit because they didn't have enough chairs. But like, I've never thought, I want to go to Miami for the Super, you know, it's not a bucket list item for me.
No.
No, I mean, I would go. Don't get me wrong. I would totally go.
What's your number one bucket list? It
As far
doesn't have to be
as
sports. Any
like
event.
Any event.
Mhm.
Or it's like, damn, I really want to be there for that.
You know, I kind of want to go to the X Games. Just 'cause-
Really?
Yeah, just because I loved it as a kid.
Really?
Just as a silly
I've been
like.
to many of those.
Have you really?
I have pictures. Yeah, my dad, the Air Force used to sponsor them. So
Wow.
I've met everybody.
That's cool.
Again, I was so young that I don't know that I was doing something cool, but I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're missing out. Do it.
Yeah. Okay. So what's yours, Joe?
Fuck, I almost want to say like, I want to go to like, I want to see Oasis at Soldier Field. That'd be dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, like let me think. Like big fucking event. I would love to go to like the World Cup final
Oh
Mm.
my God.
because America won't be in it, so I could just be like in the middle.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because like when the Cubs were in the World Series for that Game 7, I had a lot of friends go, and I was like, I couldn't go anywhere. I had to go to New York for some shit. But like I remember being like, honestly, even if money was no option, I would not have gone to that game.
Really?
Yeah, because I know my temperament. If they
Yeah.
would have lost that game,
Yeah.
there's no way I don't get arrested that night.
Yeah.
And the level of anxiety, the level of anxiety I would have had watching a Game 7 for a team I love
Right.
would be too crazy. Like
Yeah.
I would want to be like, that's why I thought about for like Major League Baseball, the All-Star game. I'd love to go to the fucking All-Star game. Because
Yeah.
it's the All-Star. Who gives a shit?
That's
right?
my answer for basketball. I always want to go to the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, I'd want to go to the whole festivities,
Mhm.
see the home run derby for
Yeah.
the dunk contest and NBA's situation. But man, I'm trying to think of like what was like.
Would you ever want to go to the Pro Bowl? No.
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 Right?
Who the fuck
No.
wants to go to the Pro Bowl?
I know.
You just want to go to Hawaii at that point, then.
Right.
Just go to Hawaii.
Oh,
right?
Right.
that's nice.
But like, what would be like a fucking event?
I have two, I think. I want to go to the Oscars.
Mm. But you can't drink at the Oscars.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Who gives a shit? I don't
Alright.
care. I just want to see all the famous people. And then I'd like to go to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Because, well, I am from Kentucky, so I feel like I should. But I'd like to just bet on a horse. I don't
Yeah.
know, I think that'd be cool.
You can
That'd
bet on
be
this
pretty
horse
dope.
between this guy's legs.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. God damn, I'm mumbly today.
You're gonna lose. Let me think.
That's so ominous.
See, Indy 500, I always want. Because we did the tour, I didn't realize that altogether they can fit 450,000 people at the Indy
Wow.
500. That's insane. That's crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
But it's weird because like when we were there, like when you're in the rafters, you're just like, and you're like, all right, I'll wait a little bit here.
I want to see a kick-ass concert. I want to go. I want to go to Vegas for that dome thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I want
Sphere?
the Sphere.
Oh, yeah,
I want
that's
to
a
see.
good choice.
Yeah, I want to see a concert there. That'd be fun.
Did you go to that, Jonah?
No, I'm afraid it's gonna fuck with my
Oh.
brain a little too much. I want to go, and I will go. I just don't like. I haven't liked any of the bands big enough to want to go. I do want to see my Rod Stewart live. I think that'd
Oh,
be
yeah?
silly. Yeah, Laura's favorite, my girlfriend's favorite. She just loves Rod Stewart for some reason. I thought it was because of her
She's
parents.
got this is a compliment, Laura. If you come
It's
across
the
this.
strangest thing.
She's a huge Nine Inch Nails Metallica fan.
Uh-huh.
Also Rod Stewart, and then I remember you throwing out a few other people where I'm like, how does the same person who likes Tool?
Yeah.
She loves
Yeah,
Tool.
Tool.
Also like, God, I can't remember what the other example was.
She loves Genesis.
Genesis.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Phil Collins, right?
So
Yeah,
she loves
likes
Phil Collins.
Yeah.
And it's like we drove back and something popped up. I don't know. She said something about butt rock, and I was like, I picked the first butt rock.
Explain.
Dad, I'm sorry, butt rock. Dad rock. The first dad.
Thanks, yeah.
No, wait, butt rock.
What the
Butt
fuck
rock.
is
Yacht
butt
rock.
rock? Yacht rock?
No, butt rock.
Oh.
What is butt rock?
That's like
B-U-T-T, like a butt and rock?
whatever his Creed is. Dad rock.
Creed's Christian rock.
No, but it's
Dad
like
rock?
no, butt rock is, I'm sorry, I'm getting this wrong. Butt rock is John Mellencamp. So music like that,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like Tom Petty, stuff like that.
He was at the Rumble.
Dad rock is like Creed.
Nickelback. Probably.
Yeah, Nickelback, stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna put on the first list I can find, and I'm just gonna say, all right, okay, name the guest and name the song, name the thing. She went through the whole fucking thing. She got it 100%.
Wow.
There's like 200 songs on there. It was insane. She's like a little about this stuff.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Damn it, Jonah.
Oh,
Come on.
Come on,
I
man.
gotta fucking bleep that.
Okay, I'm sorry. She's
She's gonna
just,
have to bleep
You
that,
could
yeah.
tell that she loves that and then also trains. How about that?
By the way, why do I thought about that the other day? The whole like you're into
autism
trains.
train thing? Yeah.
Trains are awesome, man.
They pretty are awesome.
Here's the thing: I'm not into them, and I wasn't into train. I didn't have a train set growing up. I didn't really watch Thomas the Tank Engine or anything like that. But like every time I see a train, I go, "It's a good looking
Pretty
train." Pretty great.
I always wanted like the basement that had like the full train set.
Dude, those look awesome.
with like with like the it went through a mountain, like all stuff like that. You know, I always wanted to build that.
Yeah,
By the
when
way,
did they
I'm-
start monopolizing trains to be an autistic thing?
I don't know. Every now and then something cool gets made fun of, and none of us have the backbone to be like, it's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rollerblading. I would love to start rollerblading again.
Again?
I used to rollerblade when I was like 12.
Did
and
you
then
have the little,
everyone
did you
made
have
the
the little
joke.
wrist guards on?
No, I had like I was good, man.
Yeah?
We would jump stuff. I could go downstairs.
Really?
I was, yeah, because the movie Mighty Ducks, man. Remember we were talking about Mighty Ducks
Yeah.
last week briefly? Mighty Ducks came out. We all loved rollerblading. We played roller hockey in alleys. Great time. German Shepherd chased us. We almost died. But like, it was awesome, you know? And then someone made that joke. Like, what's the worst part about rollerblading? You know, having to tell your dad you're gay or whatever. Like, and then that was the end of rollerblading.
That killed it. That
Killed it.
completely killed it.
Killed the whole fucking.
Well, that we feel as WWE fans also.
Yeah.
I know, man. WWE is like one of those things where I remember people being like embarrassed to be pro wrestling fans, and then I had to remind them it's insanely popular. You're not alone.
It's hard to like talk to somebody who's not into it because that stigma still is there. You know, another interesting story about that weekend is that we were walking home and then I heard these two guys and they're just like, dude, how do we get the chairs home? They whatever. And then I'm like, oh, chairs for the thing. And I'm like, oh, actually, they send them to you. Like, there's actually a little station you can go. It's like $20, whatever. They send it to you. And he's like, oh, thanks, man. And then they're like, wait, are you going to the Royal Rumble? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, you're normal like us. And I was like, I know, you're normal like me.
Oh my
And there's
God.
like kind of like these two guys that were a little older, and they go every year and stuff like that. And it was crazy because when we were sitting down, they were sitting kind of a little farther away from us, and they like stood up and were like, hey, huh? Look at us. Isn't that weird? Like, look at us normal people. Isn't that crazy? And my favorite thing is
You guys are all like black guys in a sea of white people.
it is. It's like, yo, what's up? Yeah, or like Jeep people. Like, oh, what's up, dude?
Oh yeah.
And the funniest thing is this guy goes, he goes, yeah, like, what did he say? He goes, oh, I was sending videos because like we were at this event, like all these wrestlers were there, and he's like, yeah, I was sending videos of my kid and stuff. They're like obsessed with wrestling stuff. They're like so excited I'm here. I'm like, you know, you probably could have bought seats 6 rows back and brought your kids. Do you really need to be that close? But yeah.
Jesus.
And he's like, I think we're gonna go WrestleMania next year. I don't really know what's going on. I'm like, you gonna invite your kids? And like, it was clearly like, no, I'm not taking my kids.
They'll ruin the good time.
Yeah.
Can't get drunk with the children around, right?
No.
I will say this: most of the wrestling fans I've met have been really, weirdos, but good people.
Good people. Always good people.
Always good people.
Very smart. Very sweet.
I know I've told this on the podcast before, but certain stories bear repeating. A good friend of the podcast, Marty DeRosa, him and his buddies were going to a wrestling event in Chicago, like it was a WWE event, and thousands of people are outside still because they just opened the gates. People are trying to file in, and they passed this mom who's on her cell phone and a little kid who's all decked out like whatever his favorite wrestler was, and the mom's like, "I cannot believe you're doing this.
Mhm.
I cannot believe you're doing this. You said you'd be here. You said you had the ticket, all this stuff." And this little kid's kind of looking up at his mom like, "What's going on here? Like, what's
Right.
And they figured it out that the dad promised them 2 tickets and totally flaked.
Oh,
Something
no.
like, probably like a divorce situation,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe not, but just a deadbeat dad regardless. And one of Marty's friends, or two of them, gave up their tickets so that the Bombin
Oh
kid
wow.
could go.
Yeah.
Like, how amazing is that?
Yeah, they're always really cool.
Like,
They're always really
that's-
nice. I
and then
know.
they
I
just
know we're
went to the
shitting
bar.
on them, but they always are really.
No, yeah. I mean, well, you're just shitting for the sake
You know,
of
like how
yeah,
how
we're-
like they
we're-
won't invite their kids so they can get closer.
Yeah, yeah.
But those are the normal looking ones, so they're kind of sus, anyways. You know.
Very sus.
Yeah.
Let's go back to music, though. We're talking about your girlfriend's wonderful taste in music. Last night was the Grammys, or a couple nights ago now from people who are listening. I'm not big on award shows. You know, I'll check the winners because out of a curiosity. The Grammys usually are the worst to me.
Would you ever
want to
go?
big
Oh, so
ones.
you wouldn't want to go?
I mean, I would like that's the thing where
If you had to go to an award.
if I had to go to an award show, which one would I go to?
Yeah.
Probably the Oscars.
Okay, too.
I'd probably want to go to the Oscars.
Yeah.
Just because you'd get the most of everything there. You know what I mean?
It's thrilling too.
They
There's not
usually-
that many awards compared to
Usually
the
is a
other
better host. The Grammys, you get some live performances though. So you
Yeah.
so maybe you could cross off some concert goers.
That's why I wanted to go to the VMAs for that reason.
Yeah, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would be cool for that.
That'd be
reason.
sweet.
Yeah, going to that. But yeah, like you were saying, like would I go to the Grammys? Yeah, I'd go.
Right.
But it's not. It'd be one of those things where if like someone was like, "Dude, we're going to the Grammys." Oh, cool. Yeah, great. And then say a week out, they're like, "Nah, we can't go now."
Yeah.
Okay. Like that wouldn't.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
I'd go, but
Shucks.
it's nothing I like. I'm dying to see.
Right.
You know. But I always thought the Grammys was the worst of them. They never seem to get it right. The best new artist category is usually like won by someone who's been around for 8 years. I don't know how they determine it. It's like, well, because I remember like Kings of Leon was nominated and it was like their 4th album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And other bands have been nominated where it's like, this is their 3rd album. So
Yeah.
how new are they? Chappell Roan, who I'm a big fan of. She won Best New Artist.
Pony Club.
It's a fucking jam, dude. It's such a jam.
I switched it to Big Booty Club. I think now.
That's your thing now?
Mhm.
Are you into big butts? Can you lie?
I cannot lie. I do.
cannot
I
lie.
am.
You
I
really-
like
you
big butts.
like-
I'm more of a butt guy than a boob guy.
Really? Gun
Boobs.
to head, Austin. Gun to head.
You
boobs
work
or
on a
butt?
butt. You're born
I
with
usually
boobs.
just go straight for the vag.
You're a vag guy.
I'm a
vag
vag
guy.
guy. I don't understand. If the vag
You
isn't
don't understand
good,
it?
then like, what's the point in the rest of the accessories?
So you're in the notion of pussy doesn't have a face.
Damn it! I was avoiding that word, Jonah. You
You're in the void of roosters don't have roosters are the other thing. You're in the void of
Do women have an equivalent to what you just said? Do they ever say like Pen 15 doesn't have a face? Like what I
Probably.
did there?
fuck. Oh, nice. That's
like what I did
huge.
there?
I don't know. Do
You know,
they?
wiener doesn't have eyes. I don't think they have a thing like that.
yeah, probably. I bet you that's something.
They probably have something like that.
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't hear it as much. I'm sure there are situations like that though, right? Where women
Size
are like,
queens.
Size,
have that.
yeah, the size
Ah,
queen
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But they don't know what the guy's rocking until they take it down though.
Yeah, but that's same with Austin. You don't know until she's taking that thing down.
No, that's fair too. Also very fair. But my point is that like,
Yeah, but you can tell. We got bulges going on.
yeah, I guess it's a fair.
That's weather like gray sweatpant weather.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can tell either.
I don't like
the
light gray
guy.
sweatpants. I'll
For
wear
that
a
reason?
charcoal gray. Do you know why I don't like a light gray sweatpants?
Did you piss yourself with
What
your
if,
feet?
what if I got a little piss drip happening?
Yeah.
What if, because sometimes like, look, we all take care of ourselves, but every guy in the world has had a situation where it's like, I got to pee real bad. I'm running in, pissing real quick, and then I got to run back out and do something.
Right.
And maybe you don't fucking shake it off as much as you should.
Right.
And you got a couple drips there, and now everyone sees and they think you're a fucking bum,
Yeah.
right? You can't have that.
Yeah.
They go, ooh, nice dong, but he's fucking dripping pee.
Yeah.
Can't
gross.
trust that. Can't trust that guy.
Are they like, oh my God, that penis is sad?
It's crying.
That's crying. I need to take care
I
of
always
it.
say
Sad
it's just
little peep.
pre-cum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
'cause
would say it too. I'm always ready.
I'm always yeah.
I'm always ready.
Pre-cum 24/7, always ready. So Austin, you're a vag guy. Okay, I always used to joke with people going, I'm a total package guy. I don't really care.
What are you?
Boobs, butt.
I'm more a
all of
face
it.
guy, honestly.
Oh my
Face
God.
is very important.
Give me a good face.
Boo.
Your eyes your favorite part of the face?
Yeah, it's a face altogether.
Just the whole thing, huh?
Eyes doesn't matter. Like, are you blue eyes, brown eyes, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
I like good eyes.
Yeah.
Who doesn't though? That's a stupid fucking thing to say out loud. I like good eyes. Do you really?
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking idiot. Like shit eyes. But no, we're gonna get into the part where Kanye West, the gift that keeps on giving. The man is entertaining.
And yeah.
Hard to deny it, but he is clearly sick in the head.
Yeah.
He's been in it for a while.
He's bipolar and he's refusing to take his medicine.
Yeah, and it's his downfall. So he's got this girlfriend now, Kanye West does, and he's in public with her often, where she's wearing damn near next to nothing.
Uh-huh.
So this would be no surprise. And he's dressed very frumpy. He's gained some weight.
He's put some weight on.
He's put on some
Stress
LBs.
weight.
for sure. He's a West Coast boy, but he's looking like his old Midwest days. You know what I mean? He's looking like the Chicago kid growing up on public school food.
Right.
And so she has this big reveal. They're on the red carpet. He's standing there wearing like black sweatpants, black hoodie, like not looking good at all. And she drops her like coat and is wearing basically like a see-through Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
It was the most, she's butt naked. You see everything.
Yeah.
You see Austin's favorite, the vag, right? She did shave very well, clearly. You see the breasts that look like they were very smushed, right? Like she's just completely naked.
Right.
And everyone's talking now about like, how sick is this relationship? Is he controlling her?
He has to be.
It feels
right?
very abusive. There's behind the scenes stuff.
I think it's very culty-ish.
Yeah.
Right? To me, and I hope I'm not stepping on your toes here, I think it's like he's convincing her this is art. And you're part of my art. Right? You are like my muse, I guess.
Yeah. And I know a lot of women's empowerment people would be like, no, it's great. Wear whatever you want. And I'm like, it's still creepy.
It just feels.
Because it's Kanye.
Right. He wasn't invited.
Wasn't invited.
And
the way, and like if he were dressed the same, if they were matching in it, then it's like, okay, there's some sort of like solidarity there. They're together on this. It feels like she's his like slave.
It does.
Does it not?
Yeah.
And Austin looked her up. I thought she was like a former model. She's a former
super smart.
Australian architect. So she's a bright woman.
Yeah, she got a master's degree from Melbourne.
But a lot of bright women, by the way, I don't know anything about Australian universities. That could be fucking DeVry. I don't know what that is. Like, I don't is that the Harvard of Australia? Hopefully. Shout out to Australia. I've never met an Australian I didn't like. Fact. I like her even. She looks great. But like,
She's a little old.
is she? How old is she?
30.
He's like 40
you,
something.
dude.
I'm just saying.
For him.
For that
'Cause
weird
he's gotta be
celebrity
like, what,
culture.
46?
She was
It's
quite.
got to be like, I think he's like, yeah.
46, 47. Look up Kanye's age if you could for me, please.
Yeah, he's been around forever, though.
Yeah, like it doesn't feel healthy. It's like you're saying, it feels cultish. But even smart people could get manipulated into some shit.
He's
Yeah.
47.
47. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious. She's gonna write a book one day about this whole experience because it's fucked, man.
Yeah.
I think there's something really scary, creepy shit going on with that.
She seems to have this like writes a book and it's just all empty pages and she goes, put the words in for yourself.
Yeah,
God.
I've never heard her voice. Does she have like the sexy Australian Margot Robbie accent, or does she sound like no?
I
Oh no.
I just think it's funny. Her last name's Sensori. It's like censor I, but she was wearing no clothes.
I think it's funny that he leaves his wife. He doesn't leave his wife, but his wife leaves him, and then he just
Kardashian.
goes to somebody that looks exactly the same.
They do look very similar, very thick thighs and hips,
Yeah.
big boobs.
I'm surprised Kim's not coming out saying some like. I know she's alluded to the fact that he's like manic and possessive, but
I think she's trying to stay out of that fire with him because
yeah, she's smart. She knows.
she doesn't want to go on a tirade and then that guy do
Nah.
something really harmful to himself, right?
Mhm.
The thing with him is like the timeline of it all is you forget even the Pete Davidson part of it. He lost it about Pete Davidson. You ever hear Charlemagne tell that story?
No.
He tells the story where it's like he heard Kanye was like texting, my children's mother is hooking up with a white boy with a 10-inch. Apparently that's what that guy's rocking.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
Nice.
he must be swinging some pipe, right?
No, that's what I've heard too.
That's-
That's the fable.
'Cause all the women he's getting. I know he's famous and funny, but it doesn't always quite match.
No,
You know what I mean?
that doesn't mean you get like long relationships. That means
No.
you get like one night.
That's what
But
he's
he
been
was in
getting,
relationships.
basically.
Yeah.
Oh, was he in relationships?
Yeah, with Ariana, with
Oh,
Kim.
that was the first one.
Yeah, he was in like I'm talking like multi months.
Mhm.
Dude, you got to give Pete Davidson a lot of credit, man. He literally was the inspiration for BDE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I say that word?
Yeah.
Big dick energy.
Yeah.
Like that was like, imagine going to your grave knowing that.
Mhm.
Like I inspired something that people used in the lexicon
Yeah.
of slang.
Yeah.
It's like that dude. Remember that dude during COVID that ended up being Photoshop, which was disappointing for all of us. Remember in COVID, we all shared these like fun memes of that huge black dude sitting on the edge of the bed.
Oh, that guy
with the
died.
massive dong. That guy died like in 2012, right?
Uh-huh.
He died way before the pandemic. But during the pandemic, everyone's sharing that dude's photo.
Why were we all sharing that?
Because it was a trick thing. You'd send someone something,
Right.
and then you'd be like, "Hey, zoom in on that one part. I think it's like weird." And then you zoom in, you're like, "Ah, you bastard!" Like
Yeah.
you trick people into looking at that dude's dong. But the thing is, the original photographer from that, said, yeah, that's photoshopped. It wasn't,
Oh, really?
you know what I mean? Like they added that,
Thank God.
right? But like also,
Sometimes too big is not fun.
you know from experience.
Yeah, he said that like trauma, like
When I have
Vietnam
friends with my girl,
flashbacks.
when I have my little girl talk times, I learn some things.
No, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
The women definitely say both ways. You know, you don't want too small, but you also don't want too big either, right?
Mm.
So you know, it's like 3 feet to 7 feet. Like, what kind of height do you want, right?
Right.
But like, I remember at the time before I found out it was Photoshop, thinking, man, because I found out the guy died. I was like, think about how crazy that is. You're dead, but your penis lives on
Mm-hmm. Forever.
Right? Isn't that the dream for every dude?
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's funny that because our friend again, Chris Bader, had a conversation about that too with Jamie Kennedy about that same guy, and they would pass around during COVID. And I just think it's funny because when I was a kid in 2013, 2014, that was a meme. That was like in our Minecraft servers or like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then to find out that 6 years later that it was like a huge thing.
It comes
for,
back.
like, in COVID. I was like, I didn't even know that happened.
I always
Yeah.
like when a thing comes back that you were into. You're like, fuck yeah, dude. Look
Dude,
at
they
that. That was-
sold mugs of that where you filled the mug with like hot coffee, and then as the mug filled with water,
'cause
it
it's
revealed
clear?
the guy. It revealed.
Oh,
him.
we're good. Really? Oh,
People
fine.
went nuts for that thing during COVID.
Oh,
dude.
nice.
I was on several text chains where we were constantly sending different ones to each other where it's like, hey, did you see the storm cloud over Wrigley Field? And then they sent it to you, and the storm cloud is that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was just like, but in cloud form.
Yeah.
Like, people got pretty damn clever with some of that stuff, right? We're in a great Photoshop chain right now.
Yeah.
Our buddy Danny Callis, who was at for my birthday when we were at the Cubs game
Mm-hmm.
2 birthdays ago. And he's kind of like looking back like this in the photo. And so we've taken that photo and photoshopped it into all these world events.
Yeah.
I think it started with Marty DeRosa, Sanchez, but Jonah, you kind of took over as being the best with it. You didn't
did.
lead it off though, did you?
No, I didn't.
Marty
I was
might have let it off.
I was just trying to get me in there. Yeah, Abby did it off because I think we could talk about this stuff. He photoshopped Danny so Danny has this big smile in it, and he photoshopped him, I think, in front of the World Towers.
the World Trade Center.
It was
Yeah.
World Trade Center.
World Tower.
Someone did it where he's
World
flying
Towers,
the
sorry.
plane, and then through the cockpit, you
That was
see
me.
the World
You know how long
Trade-
that took me?
Oh my
On my
God.
phone? That took me forever. I had to find
yeah.
a far enough picture of the Twin Towers. I had to find a cockpit picture that also had it clear, and then I had to clear out the cockpit, and then I put him in on it. I don't think I put a hat on him, but I did. Yeah, I was pretty proud of that moment.
That was most group chats I've been a part of for the most part. There's always moments where you're like, I wish I wasn't part of this. That was my favorite group chat I've ever been part of.
Really?
It was like 8 comedians and everybody was on point with it. And no one ever took it to the point where it's like, you guys are texting too much. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But those were perfect. There was one, God, some of them were like, we can't really repeat on air.
Right, yeah, right.
But the 9/11 one was really funny.
That one's great.
Yeah, I don't think I could repeat the rest of them on air. Man.
Oh, I put one where he's I put the one with the little submersible that imploded.
Oh, the
the submersible,
Titanic
and
thing.
then I put him in front of it with like a little
Snorkel.
snorkel on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You are blanking on words all day today.
I'm having
Sorry, I
I've
didn't mean to-
had
I didn't mean to
a
give you a hard
rough
time.
couple days,
Oh, I'm
but we're
sorry,
good.
man.
I'm still stressed, but we're
Let
good.
me give you a tickle.
Yeah, I give you a little tickle.
Tickle,
Yeah. So my brain's just a little
Well,
wet.
I apologize.
Sorry about
I
that.
thought I was just giving.
No,
you a
I'm sorry to
little-
our listeners. I feel like I'm failing you.
No, dude, you've told us some wonderful stories, man. That's pretty great.
But
I'm really bad at making memes, and my best example is did you guys ever watch the Tim Robinson I Think You Should Leave sketch show?
Yeah, I've seen a couple
Yeah.
episodes.
Have you seen the one
It's
where
great.
it's coffin flop, where like it's the
Yeah.
coffin people coming out?
Yeah.
So there's a part now where he goes, "I didn't fucking do this. I didn't do this," and that was a meme people were putting in front of like images, so it'd be like the Twin Towers or whatever. And then I sent one in a group chat because I found the actual crime scene photos of the Nicole Brown Simpson murders, and I put him in front of, and it was like uncensored. It was like the real blood and
Yeah.
bodies. I can't believe they just had it online.
Oh
And then I had people had to be like, "Hey man, that was wild,
dude, whenever
you can't do that." And I was
whenever
like,
a
"Yeah."
tragedy happens, I'm always like, can I put this in that text chain?
Did you get the latest one? Did you get the flight?
I didn't do the flight one yet,
didn't do the
but I
flight
did
one,
do
okay.
one. I did do one where Elon Musk is doing his little.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I
You
did
had him
that.
next to him. You had him
Yeah,
next to
yeah,
him on
and then
that
I
one.
put, and then I. Well, the problem is with this, I am changing my my algorithm because I had to literally Google people doing the Nazi salute.
Yeah.
And People doing the we can edit that out. We'll
The Third
edit it.
Reich. Just say
Yeah,
the Third Reich.
people doing the whatever salute.
Just a heads up to the listeners, we might change the day in which we start releasing episodes because we need a little more time to edit these parts
these
out and
Because
stuff like
YouTube's
that.
getting a little weird on us.
Oh man, they're getting
No,
so
they're getting
tight,
good
dude.
on us.
But I
Have
had
they
to.
been
But
good
the
on
thing
us?
is,
We gotta
keep up
I have
that
to
momentum,
Google.
They're jerks to my stand-up.
But the
though.
point is, I have to Google all this stuff, and it's just like changing my algorithm for these dumb jokes.
Mm.
Ever done that? By the way, also. My algorithm for my Instagram now is just all jiggly boobs.
I know.
It's crazy. Because guess who's sending me it too? My girlfriend is sending me these just to mess with my algorithm because she knows I get embarrassed when I'm just like kind of publicly scrolling and that pops up on it. And now there's this new thing where it's girls looking like they're getting it from behind, where their boobs are jiggling, but like where they're over, and then it's just like this one person was like, oh yeah, more, and zooms out, and it's a guy working this girl out, right? Like, but it looks like she's getting it from whenever. It's just, God damn it.
We're just too curious, man. The thing is, because that's what I hate the Instagram Explorer page. Like when you go to, because there'll be times where I'm like, oh, I got to go search. So-and-so said they were doing a show at that club. What club was it though? It was some club in Boston. Oh, I'll go to their Instagram profile and look up what their tour dates were, right? And then you go hit the little magnifying glass to search, and then they show you their like fucking thing, and you look at it and you're like, what did I come on here for again? Dude, I try to avoid it too, but you can't. I think every guy has at least half of that page jiggly boobs.
Jiggly boobs.
Yeah, I had jiggly boobs now because I looked up. I was trying to make that clip for Jonah.
Right.
And
I go, oh, I'll find it too. And then I spent 30 minutes scrolling through all of it, being like, what's the right one? Which is the one I had? It's insane. It is not fun. You look at yours, Joe?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
gonna look at it right now just because I'm curious.
I get a lot of like AI ones now of like this AI character is your birth month. And it's freaky. I don't
Mine's
like it. AI
food,
videos are scary.
Chicago food, and yeah.
Yeah, you got. Well, it's not that bad.
Not that bad, right?
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse.
Do you?
I thought anyone's. I would have been like,
that
Austin, you got to
chicken
blur this whole thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to blur it all.
Mine's not that bad. Mine's also like a lot of really raunchy T-shirts. Because whenever a raunchy T-shirt pops up, I like to.
They're target ads now.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
spicing them up for you.
my target ads are T-shirts I could never wear in public. It is incredible. But like a nasty chain line or a text chain is always great. We had one during COVID, which was I can't say that. What was it? Oh fuck! I am losing everything today. You're on your phone, Joe. Get off your phone.
I'm looking it up, man.
What are you looking up?
Bouncy boobs.
Yeah.
What are you looking up?
I don't know. I was distracted by the bouncy boobs,
I
man.
know. See?
All right, go ahead.
My point is, have you ever been in another chain, a text chain that's been like kind of like nobody can see this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like
I mean-
Austin's thing where he loves fucking Jack and Jill, but Al Pacino being like, burn this. Burn it
This
all.
now. Yeah.
Because like there's context to those things. Right?
I know.
I mean, it's like within the context, it's like it's funny, but you know it's bad. That's why you're sending it to just your friend.
Yeah.
Well, you need that outlet as a person, right? That's why I couldn't stand. Oh,
Okay.
Knocked a whiskey bottle over. That's why I didn't like that. I think we're out of that era now, but there was an era there for a while where people were just, that's kind of what made Shane Gillis get originally famous.
Mm-hmm.
Let me remind people, Shane Gillis was a killer comedian before that. You know what I mean? The whole, when he got fired from SNL after the hire, because they're like, if you take away the ability to let off some steam and mess around, obviously, like certain things, I'm trying to like fucking say this in a way where this is funny. I'm saying don't be pussies anymore by acting like a pussy. So that we're
No,
close
you
now.
just like you're trying to be respectful.
Yeah, like, because I'm not trying to. It's like if you're texting certain friends certain things and those got exposed, people could then use that to damage you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like, no, I know it's bad. That's why it was sent privately in a text message.
Right.
Also, it's clearly in the context of a joke. There's 8 other people on this.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then
And you're
thought
trying to
myself,
one
if
up
you're
each other too.
Yeah, but no one's doing anything. It's more like for the humor of it. No one's texting like the N-word for the sake of texting the N-word. You know what I mean?
Are you take?
No, I'm saying no one's doing that.
So when
if
you're
they were doing that, it'd be
what-
bad.
so
but just
when
the
you
thought of someone doing that, just like casually, just just throwing it in
Right.
there, and that's it.
Yeah, it'd be horrible.
Just people
when-
at work are like, what
when,
the
when
hell?
you're telling me, so when you say when you text the N-word, you're not doing it for the sake of it, so you mean it.
I have never texted the N-word, so I don't know what you're talking
I've never
about.
texted it. That'd be insane if I did.
No.
That is the one time when people are just like, "Oh man, I was just in my friend group." I'm like, "Yeah, you went a little
I did almost text.
far on that."
I did almost text Curtis, our friend Curtis. This was like 4 or 5 years ago now. I don't know if he remembers it. The B and the N are way too close to each other. And I was trying to spell the word big.
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And he laughed because he knew
Yeah.
what was going on because it made no sense.
That's
in
a
the
funny
sentence.
joke, though. I mean, that's a funny thing, and
Yeah, it was a fun little accident. We could laugh about it. You know what I mean? But like, you can't I'm glad that era was over because there was a time there where, like anything, someone got a little fame. Right? Remember there was this kid, ESPN College Game Days, holding up a sign that says Busch Light supply needs replenishing, and he had his Venmo. And the sign was there the whole time, so people thought it was funny. So people were Venmoing him. He ended up getting like $1 million in Venmo.
oh, really?
Yeah. And he then responds with, "This is crazy. I didn't want anything like that. I'm going to take $100,000 of it, pay off my student loans. The other $900,000 I'm going to give to the Children's Hospital at the University of Iowa because it was an Iowa game."
Yeah.
And Anheuser-Busch liked it so much, they go, "We're going to match you."
Oh, wow.
And then I think ESPN was like, "We'll match it too." What a great guy, right? And Venmo even said, "We'll give you some money." Some reporter dug up tweets from him from like when he was 12
Oh, God.
that weren't even that bad. It was like him quote tweeting Daniel Tosh. So really, it's Daniel
Yeah.
Tosh that said the bad thing.
Yeah.
And it's also he's a comedian joking around and tried to tear him down. And then I think Budweiser and Busch stepped back then from him. Where it's
Yeah.
like, the guy's doing a nice thing.
Yeah.
Like, why I didn't like the idea that your instinct is, I heard someone doing a nice thing. Now, how could I tear him down?
Right.
Because that's what that guy was going
So
for.
they grew into a nice person,
yeah.
so they can change.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I know. Right.
And this is the thing I get upset about, where it's just like, so you call yourself progressive, but you're not allowing people to progress. That's a weird thing.
Yeah, that's something that the far left screws up about. There's like a purity test thing,
Mhm.
and it's not everybody. Just what I mean. But there's definitely part of that segment that's just always looking for like, oh, we only agree with 98% of what you agree with.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
fine.
It's like, oh, you're helping somebody, you have an angle. Let me figure out what that angle is. That's the whole. I mean, this is a Dave Chappelle joke. Can't say Dave Chappelle, but like from a while ago, where he's talking about that movement happening, and he's like, you're pushing the pendulum way too far on the other end, and like where you're attacking people that are trying to help you. It's that whole like Ben Affleck was like going against Miramax. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ today, Miramax. And then everyone like found that clip of him in like the early aughts when he was like drunk and he like hugged the interviewer and he pinched her boob on the side.
Oh,
And then
really?
so they're just like all like, "F you, Ben Affleck, you pinched a tit back in 19." Like, and then he's like, "All right, man, I was trying. I don't know what you want me to do."
Well, my favorite, and now I could even do it now because I have a daughter, but like, I remember this one guy being like, "Oh, I agree, that the system goes against women in so many different ways. And, when women get assaulted, the police never believe them and all this stuff." And what he was saying was true. Right. And then his last sentence was, "And especially as someone who has a daughter, it really makes me sick." And then everyone was commenting, "It shouldn't matter if you have a daughter. You should have thought that way even if you didn't have a daughter." And it's like, he's like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like,
I'm
you know
just-
what I mean?
right.
And I remember being like, he's on your team. He's on your fucking team. And instead of being like, "Yeah, dude, hell yeah, you're disagreeing over one part of it."
Right.
Even so, like, that's why that side loses a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though they're, I agree with them on a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff that individually, issue by issue, most of the country would agree on. Not that we're trying to end this with a political debate or political talk.
It sounds like we're trying to audition for Joe Rogan.
Let's go, man.
Jamie.
I haven't even listened to do you listen to Rogan's podcast?
No.
I don't either. Because I don't know anyone who does.
I don't
No, I
either.
know people who follow the clips.
Yeah.
Because that was
Clips
what
are
was
everywhere.
genius about Rogan is that he was the first podcast that I could recall. I'm sure there might have been other ones, but as far as in comedians, he would do these 2.5-hour podcasts, but no one's sitting down and listening to a 2.5-hour podcast. But he would just flood the internet with clips.
Yeah.
It's genius. Like,
Yeah.
and then it was always like, and they were easy to follow too. Because it'd be like Joe Rogan on UFC 294. So it's
Right.
like, oh, cool. Now I get to know what he says about 294. And then it's like Joe Rogan on flat earthers. Oh, cool. He's talking to a flat earther. Let's see what this stupid conversation's about.
Yeah. So okay, speaking of Joe, there's a famous Joe Rogan meme where it's like, oh, like
yeah.
that. And I was this is God, I'm gonna say this anyway. So I had a funny thought because I was, the horrible accident that happened with the plane and the helicopter. There is I guess in the Jesus Christ. The people in the tower are talking to the helicopter, right? And then they are basically being like, hey, you need to fly. You can fly underneath the plane. And right. And I guess, I don't really, at this moment in time, I don't think the details are out, but the plane drops really faster than it needs to, than it's supposed to. And supposedly that's why the helicopter ran into it. And when it runs into it, you just hear the people go, oh, like that. And in my brain, for some reason, it's Joe Rogan will be like, oh, like how, like, like, because it's a really cool visual. I mean, it's fucked up, but it's just like,
It's a really cool visual.
it's just like, I don't know, for some reason, like, it just reminded me of that meme where they wrote, because it's one of those things where you, like, all I read was oh, and I just was like, oh, like, it was a bad thought, but.
Well, that has been Let's Get Dumb, everybody.
Yay! Great ending.
No, dude.
Funny, tell me that's not funny.
No, it is.
Tell me that's not funny.
It is. And look, obviously, that was a horrible tragedy, and it's heartbreaking. A bunch of little figure skaters died. By the way, I wish I didn't say it like
You
that.
said little figure skaters?
They were like 8-year-olds. That's what I meant.
I thought they were like a national team.
I thought it was like young figure skaters.
Yeah, it was like 8 to 16-year-olds. Which also coincidentally in
horrible.
the Philadelphia one there was ice dancers.
Really?
So I was like, is there a conspiracy against
Yeah.
the
ice
Olympics
sports?
coming up and someone's getting scared?
He's going after Canada these days. So, anyway, so yeah, obviously our heart goes out to them. But like, look, in the world we live in, you got to find humor in some things.
Right.
If you're one of the family members or friends of the victims, we apologize.
Yeah.
If
Oh my
not,
God, yeah.
You know, it's a little
If
joke.
not, I mean, no matter what, it's a pretty funny visual. Like, it's pretty.
That meme is like, well, I'm sure they actually did react that way. Imagine if you saw that live.
Yeah.
Like, I had a weird recurring dream for a while, and then we do it down the podcast because that would be a good way to end it. This dream's stupid. Just could cut back to the ending there. That's a funny way to go. I would have a dream where I'd see a plane crash. I wouldn't see the thing actually crash, but there's always one dream like I'm on a balcony and I look up and I see a plane and it's starting to spin and go down. I'm like, oh shit. And I just instinctively like drop to the ground because like it's close. It's like 2 blocks over, and you don't know what kind of impact that's going to be. And like in the dream, I react like Rogan. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, like, you can't help it because like that's something you just don't expect to see, and your brain is doing the math like you just know too.
Yeah.
That's the thing about flying, where I know everyone always says it's way safer than any other form of transportation, and I know that, but you just don't walk away if it actually crashes.
Right. That's the joke where it's like, somebody says that joke. Maybe.
I could walk away from a car crash or a train. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, we've
Perhaps.
all been in like a car accident. How many people have been in a plane crash in here? Like,
Yeah.
they're all dead. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good bit.
Yeah. And also, the sad thing too is like when you hear a really horrible incident like that, like obviously it's really horrible that everybody passed away, but a party is just like, okay, so that resets the time until there's a next crash. So then I should be good for a while.
Yeah,
know what
like
I mean?
I remember saying to people, I remember my dad saying this, the safest day to fly would have been on 9/12.
Right.
Because it's not going to happen 2 days in a row.
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I
'cause
mean?
percentages
Everyone's
of
on
that are
guard.
insane.
Yeah,
Right.
it's so low. But dude, you ever have this? I remember one time I was sitting on a flight and I was looking around and I'm like, there was some little kid flying like alone. So there was like the certain, like, they were making sure he was okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
you could do that. You could send a kid on a plane if like there's a system in place or
Yeah.
whatever, So I'm like, oh, look at that.
You ever
That's
did
kinda
that?
Fun. I remember me and my sister flew. Yeah.
Yeah, I did
like
that.
when we were like 12 and 13 or something, from like Detroit, visiting my grandparents back to Chicago. And then I saw a rock band came on.
Really?
I don't think it was a famous one, but I'm like, oh, they got guitars. They have the long hair. They had the look.
Yeah.
Then I saw like a single mother with a baby. And then I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, this is the perfect plane to crash.
Oh no.
This is the type of plane that would crash.
Yeah.
It's got all the sad stories built into it.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean, little Johnny was visiting grandma on the farm,
Yeah.
flying back home to see his mother.
Their album just released.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
finally hit it big. You know what I mean? And,
yeah.
her husband's away at Afghanistan and she's flying back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember being like, fuck.
It's hard
man,
not to do that math when you enter a flight. A flight's scary. I mean, even though yes, it's the safest way to. I mean, I guess train's the safest way technically.
You would think, but I think there's.
Okay.
I mean, look, plane crashes so rarely that when they crash, it's a massive story.
And it's yeah.
It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
68 people. It's fucking horrible.
Mm-hmm. But if it was one more, it'd be funny.
69 would have been good.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it was one more, it'd been pretty sweet, dude.
You think maybe it was 69, but they were like, let's just say
We
68.
can't do that. It's got to be 68, 72 worse. Too
Yeah,
bad.
so we'll do 68 because you would hate to have like some anchor be like 69 nice passengers or 69
It
souls
also-
have departed.
It also made me be like, I'm never fucking flying to DC ever because there's a lot of reports being like, oh yeah, that happens. That almost happens all the time.
I know.
Like, there's been so many reports of that.
Yeah.
Where they're almost passive about it. Like, oh yeah, that almost happens all
Why
the
the
time.
fuck are Black Hawk helicopters just
'Cause
I
DC
said almost said walking around,
'cause
flying
it-
around.
Because of DC, because the capital's
It's the
there.
capital, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
sort
but
of-
it's like that's fucking insane. That's like
you think they would
civilian
map it a little
airspace.
bit better,
Like,
yeah.
it's-
Right.
Well, they fired a bunch of people the week before all these things happened.
Yeah, so
Maybe
one
that
guy was in
wasn't a
charge
good
of
idea?
both, supposedly.
Well, that's a little stupid.
At the
too.
time of this recording, to what I know.
Good lord. I mean, that was just okay.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, to Let's Get Dumb. Next week, we got a fun one for you. We are going to do, we'll tease you guys right now. Tell them what we're going to do next week.
We're going to do, I just had a birthday.
Happy birthday, Jonah.
Thank you.
Yeah, 36.
Triple J, 36.
Triple J,
Beef
42. And I've been realizing that I've been checking everyone's age when I watch a movie, and I can't believe how old some of these actors look. And then they're a lot younger than me, and it makes me feel horrible about myself. So I want to do I can't believe top 5. I can't believe not top 5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some
Do a
photos
game,
for Joe.
right? Yeah.
I have a little game. I'm going to show actors that are younger than me in certain scenes, and then you have to guess how old you think they are.
Yeah. That's going to be fun. I like that we're playing a game with that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really good visual for the people who listen or watch on YouTube.
Watch on YouTube. Yeah.
But yeah, so check that out next week. And yeah, more big things to come. We'll probably have another guest coming in soon too. Probably going to try to do a guest, every 3 episodes or so?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to bring the guest back. That was fun having Sarah Perry on a couple weeks ago.
She's great.
Thanks for listening. Let's Get Dumb. You're the best. Love you.
Oh, we clicked together.
We clicked together.